Hello, so this is going to be a relatively short video and straight to the point, pardon the pun, but I've ordered two spearheads. So one is a reenactment style spearhead, and you'll see from this that what it's actually got is there's no sharpness to it at all. Then it's kind of got this button at the end, and that's obviously designed so when it's jabbed into somebody, it would leave a bruise, maybe it would hurt, but it's not going to actually stab them, as you can see. Now, I'm sure because of physics, with enough force, if this was going fast enough and you weren't wearing padded clothes, it could go into you. But the design is obviously designed so if you're wearing padding and a bit of armour, if you thrust somebody with it, it's not going to actually kill them by stabbing them. So this I'm going to use for sparring with a friend. I've already got the bokken, so what I want to get is a few, like safe, with the inverted commas, weapons for actual sparring practice. Because as I've said before, there's no decent HEMA things near me as far as I'm aware, so doing it with friends is like the best option I've got. So this has a socket at its widest point of just over a centimetre as far as I know, sorry, just over an inch, so about 2.5 centimetres, maybe 3 centimetres pushing it. Now I've also got, obviously not for sparring with, an actual leaf-bladed sort of European medieval style spear. This one's actually made by Windlass Steelcraft. I'll get the spearhead out. It's a bit oily, but you can have a look at it. So there's the actual leaf-bladed spear. You can see the oil on there. I'm not going to unwrap all of this until I'm ready to mount it. But it's got a plastic cover on the end, obviously just for shipping protection. But as you can see there, that has actually got a proper spear point that would cut you if you were to get stabbed with it. I'm not sure if any of it's sharp except the point. But with a spear you don't really need, unless it's something, like the spears that were designed for it, you don't really need anything that is sharp except the point, because the whole point of the spear is it's primarily a thrusting weapon. This goes in, and then the shape of the spear is designed that as it goes in it opens up a very big wound. And obviously you want a profile slim enough that it would slip between ribs and things like that. So, very effective. Again, now the socket on this one is slightly larger, but it's still a very similar size, as you can probably see. This one is probably just over, at the widest I would think, 3 centimetres, but again it narrows. You can see that it's got a rivet hole on it, so you just put a rivet through it, or some kind of nail, once you've got it into the position you want. So this is a Windlass Steelcraft one. Not sure who makes this type of one, but I got them both from Southern Swords. Very good service from them. They processed the order on the Monday and I got them on the Tuesday, so yeah, next day delivery. So that was very good. Now, obviously I'm just going to sort them out a bit like I did the bill hook that Richard Weaponsmith made me. He did this as 3.5 centimetres on the actual socket section. So I was able to get a slightly more durable tool handle for this one. With these two spears I've just simply bought like a rake handle. Now obviously you'll notice comparing the spearhead to the size of a bill hook that there is quite a bit of difference there. Polearms in general, when I say polearms I mean halberd style polearms, generally were much bigger than a traditional spear, which is why they've got both advantages and disadvantages with thrusting and swinging and stuff like that. This will carry a bit more momentum to it and have a bit more of a punch, but obviously it will tire you out using it faster, and you will lose a little bit of the stability, with a halberd type weapon. Obviously, I've covered this before. Lots of channels specifically talking about historical combat will cover this, but the point is, with pretty much any weapon, once you add more features to it, you're adding pros and cons to it. A simple spear is going to be very fast to manoeuvre and thrust with. When you add more points and things to it, you're going to offset the balance a bit. It's going to be heavier. It'll have some pros that you've got extra weapon types on it. You'll have some cons that it's heavier to use, a bit slower to thrust, it has an increased production cost, things like that. Whereas your standard European spearhead, it's designed simply for thrusting on a pole and to be very manoeuvrable to thrust up and down with, move the spear point around. So, those are the two spearheads I bought. As you can see, they look pretty impressive. It'll obviously be much better when I've got them on the pole, and hopefully very soon, once the poles arrive, I can actually do some sparring videos. To begin with, it will just be one person using the bokken versus another using the spear. I guess we'll both rotate it. I think out of those two, the spear are going to have the clear advantage, just simply because the pole is going to allow you more reach, and you can thrust up and down and everything, to get at somebody with the bokken before they can get in range of it. However, if the person with the bokken evades your thrust, then obviously they can swing it and use it more to an advantage than the spear wouldn't have. Anyway, that's this video, so there will be an update on this one. I've got the poles for those. I'm just putting on broom handle poles, which wouldn't be as good as the pole that the halberd's on, well, the bill hook, but you know, as and when that's done, I will do an update video on it.